This non-spoiler and spoiler review is going to be fucked.
I'm trying to collect myself to be honest. Like watching this like this in this way hits differently than when I played it when I was younger.
Folks, if you're watching this, I guess welcome to Bottles and Bricks, a lifestyle podcast. Okay, okay. There's a lot of good in this episode, but if we can't articulate well, and we might be repetitive in points, it's because we three experienced this story before. It hit us that one time, and we knew it was a daunting thing. It was a thing we were dreading, and I for sure thought they were going to switch it because stuff was playing out differently, ish to an extent. Not really, but just mood wise, and they still went the route they went, and um, because here's the thing, I can tell Ty to let it go right now, but I don't want him to get emotional again. All I can say is that hopefully, Ty, you might agree with what I'm saying, and I'm articulating it, writing down as I'm saying it, that is just as impactful as in the game. And to me, what I didn't see the coming was forget that he's mute. Forget that. That's another whole element that just it's a layer to for another audience to see. It's what Ellie does, and that's sort of more heartbreaking stuff because it's one thing to know that someone's gonna die, and if that was changed, how would that affect that character's legacy and how much we would connect with them besides just liking them? The fact that that Ellie thought she could cure him that way. That the fact that she thought that was it. That I knew I would get sad and emotional. Didn't want to watch it. It was that sequence that they added that was like, fuck you. That was the biggest fuck you I could say to this show in the most accommodating, applauding way. And the fact that I for sure thought they were gonna switch it. If Henry's gonna die and Sam will go with them, and then Sam will have to end up staying in Wyoming and whatnot. But the fact that they still went there and they added that layer is what's sadder to me. It wasn't just experiencing it again. That wasn't yes, I did cry again. I did get emotional again. It was that additional thing that they did to it, and the fact that they took away the opening intro and layered in time of like, okay, this is what they've been doing leading up to when they are pointing guns at Ellie and Joel. The fact that you see the other side of who Sam and Henry are doing and what they're doing is with Kathleen, who talks about the past, about the previous leader who was her brother, who was a good man but didn't accomplish anything in terms of Percy, but she did. And I think Sam and Ty said it, at what cost? And how she was still willing to hunt down Henry and Sam and was still willing to kill them. And yeah, it's a fucked episode. The clicker stuff, it was teased, it was foreshadowed. They delivered it for me, and I can only imagine the improvement CG it will get. But even though stuff was funky, it didn't take away the atmosphere. It didn't take away the engagement you were on. The World War Z vibe of all of them coming up. What else am I missing?
It's okay. We'll unpack it. I'm just gonna say this also to help Ronan out.
Yeah.
We're emotionally compromised, you guys.
Yeah.
That's just putting that out there. We are emotionally compromised. We're gonna, after we get done with this full review, we will still need time to reflect, because I'll use this as a pivot. Henry in this episode, I fully understand Henry so much more as a man, as a brother, as a protector, because the truth of the matter is he never killed anybody. Even the person that Catherine was upset about, like, he turned him in. He didn't kill him himself. At the end of the day, the only person he actually killed, even though his brother was long gone, was his brother. And the crazier thing about it is he was already willing to give himself up for his brother, for Ellie, for them. Whatever he had to do, he was already willing to self-sacrifice because he blamed himself for the circumstances surrounding this. And so even with his brother, with the way that they set this all up, had he not turned in, what's the name? Yeah, his brother may have not been cured, but his actions in his mind and his heart caused this. And it's just, from that one bullet, it's a chain reaction. I've never seen anything like it.
Ripple effect.
It was acted amazingly. Bella Ramsey and her interaction with Sam, the whole entire episode, not just the final moments, like they felt like young people. You know what I mean? Like it and I think that's what makes it so much more heartbreaking, because there was a part of her heart believed that she could save him, that he was going to be all right. And it's sad because he's like, please stay awake with me. And she closed her eyes. And I think that's another part of the reason why she said, I'm sorry. It's not even just the fact the blood, is that she was not awake when he turned. She wasn't able to honor his final wish. And as far as an episode is concerned, everything about it was phenomenal. They've upped the envelope every single episode, and this is a 10 and beyond. I cried, I yelled, I cheered. It was suspense. The score was amazing, and they started it without Ellie and Joel in the beginning. It was with Sam and Henry. And I said in the beginning of the episode, this is gonna wreck me, and it did. And honestly, I mean, everything else I talk about in this is just gonna be technical and subjective. It's a phenomenal episode. I don't really have anything more to say. I'm gonna let Ty get the mic. I'm pretty much done on this one.
Okay. So first off, Lamar Johnson and Kayvon Woodard, thank you. Thank you. Your portrayal of Henry and Sam was absolutely phenomenal. This is, to me, and it's so hard to say this, but this for me was actually better than how it happened in the game, because of one particular item that was not done in the game. They gave you a momentary piece of hope, because Ellie was willing to cut herself. And I went back to thinking about what Joel had told Tess when he was like, well, maybe the first one didn't take. Maybe, another one will. And I'm thinking, for a hot second, I'm thinking, man, she may have just exposed herself and she may turn, because she literally put her hand on his infection after she cut herself. But then for that one moment of hope, I'm thinking it would be so amazing if they woke up the next day and he didn't turn because of her blood. But I knew when she woke up, because she didn't stay awake, I knew they weren't going to change anything. I knew they weren't. And that one moment hits makes it hurt so much more, because in the game, Sam doesn't share that with anybody. He expresses a little thing about Henry in terms of making sure he doesn't mess stuff up and all that stuff, but Ellie leaves the room and then he rolls up his pants and looks at the wound himself. They don't know about it. He shares it with her and she shares with him that she's immune. It's like in the little time they had, they literally shared their deepest, darkest secrets in that moment. And it was her first time really like, if I can save him, all of this is worth it. And she stayed with him. And she couldn't keep her promise. We're human. They were tired. They needed sleep. I get it. But the thing that did it for me was there was the possibility he could have attacked her at any point while in her sleep. I think it partially didn't happen because technically she's infected and he hadn't really turned yet. Because they could honestly see Ellie as how they saw Tess when the guy knew that Tess was infected, and they didn't attack her. They didn't run up on her. He straight up kissed her. But this hurts so much. This is a roller coaster episode. This is for me the peak of this season. I haven't seen the other 4 episodes yet, but something in my heart tells me that I don't know if it's going to get any higher than this. I'm not saying the other episodes won't be epic or phenomenal because they're batting 1,000, but this right here, we went from the correlation between episode 4 and episode 5, the hope that Henry had seeing Joe did what he did, the hope of Sam because Sam finally had a friend, the hope of them getting out, the hope that the hope for Sam because Henry's hope for Sam that he would make it, which is why he was willing to give himself up. The hope that they made it because they made it out of a situation where a bloater showed up with a mass World War Z level of stalkers and runners and clickers, basically the remnants of when they cleared out the tunnels in the city. This is where all of them went. And because they said they cleared it out 15 years ago, that was enough time for a bloater to develop. And the hope that they were going to see a new day because they were out of the city, only for their entire, and the hope for Ellie and Sam because he got infected that he was going to make it. And all those hopes, all those dreams, all those things that they were yearning for, in one moment and one bullet, 2 bullets, gone. And in that moment, Ellie lost hope. Ellie was just like, F it, let's just go. She's more focused now to get to it because she doesn't want to see anyone else, man, woman, or child, go through what she just went through. But she's basically lost her hope. She's like, all that's left is Wyoming. This is the pinnacle of this season. You're on mute, Ronan. I know you want to jump in.
No, yeah, I just want to let you finish. That's all. Because
I don't have anything else right now. I'm just
only thing I would add is the fact that And we talked about it last episode that Joel has been subtly connecting with Ellie. And because Ellie made a friend and Joel allowed himself to trust Henry and trust Sam to try to help coordinate together, by the end of the episode, he had told Henry, y'all can come with us. And it's like, it goes back to him keep saying in his head, and he said it to Ellie, you shouldn't be going through this at your age. And now she did make a friend. They both did. They both allowed something internal to actually rock them. And there was nothing Joel could do about it. And he's witnessing her disintegrate into herself. And that's affecting him. That's compromising him. And it's
He's
hard,
watching
man.
her become him when he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
He knows the path she's going down. He knows how that story ends, and the ironic thing about it is the person he's watching go down this road is the person that also is redeeming him.
Yeah.
And changing him from what he's been through.
They're batting 1,000, and I'm not gonna say it's impossible what they're doing, but I have absolutely no idea how they're doing it this good. It makes no sense, but they're doing it. So I'm gonna ride the waves and just trust that, there's gonna be some interconnectivity. I think that the emotional resonant moments that are of the game are gonna be sound here, but they're doing it their own way. And
I'll put it to you this: when I remember hearing that Craig Mason was involved, and I had seen Chernobyl, I'm like, that's perfect. But I I didn't realize that. I remember when I watched Chernobyl, it took me about a week or two to finish it, and it's only a few episodes because it was that
every single episode was just harsh.
Yeah, it was hard to follow up to binge watch. For me, it was.
Yeah, same.
And so this episode really reminded me of an episode of Chernobyl that I was just like, I can't watch the next episode. I refuse to watch the next episode. I'm like, I can't do that now.
This is Red Wedding.
Yeah.
This is Red Wedding level. This is Eddard Stark beheading level.
Yeah, this is definitely their mid-season finale, basically.
Yeah, this is the epitome of the show for me at this moment. I'm not saying it can't get higher, but if it does, I would be totally shocked, because this right here was no holds barred whatsoever. They let it all hang out.
Yeah,
but again, Lamar Johnson and Kevin Woodard, phenomenal performance. And then, of course, Pedro Pascal and
Bella
Ramsey. Phenomenal performance. And you know what? I'll even put it in there. Melanie Linsky.
That's Kathleen. Yeah. Oh, fucking.
Her utter ruthlessness was uncompromised.
Yeah, seriously.
It was as straight as an arrow heading for a target. It was just absolutely relentless. She, to the point where she was like, kids die all the time.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that line, that was the line.
When she said that, I was like, my God. I understand you're upset about your brother, but this is a child. These are two children. This is a young man and a young boy, and you've literally had an entire squadron, your entire resistance. You have had them solely purposed on killing these two kids. And her brother told her, You have to forgive.
Which, yeah, when I heard that,
And her lack of being able to forgive is what led to her own damn demise.
nice.
Yeah, it was a ruthless death too. And when that
It's poetic.
VFX come through, man, that's gonna be some
like her death was the equivalent of her own rage. The same way she died is it's like if her emotions formed an entity and just killed her. That's that her ruthlessness as a leader, her relentlessness in going after them, and the simple fact, the one thing, and she said it, her brother, she saw her brother. Her brother basically told her, don't do it. Just let it be. And the one thing he asked her to do, she couldn't do, and led to her demise. In the midst of a swarm of infected, including a bloater coming after you, you still are so focused in your vengeance that you literally are still willing to try to kill these kids. And what happens? It leads to your own death.
And that vibe of her character in those scenes, I wouldn't be shocked if they were like, this is sort of foreshadowing where part 2 of the game goes. Like that vibe,
Yes.
that thing about it. When she said like kids die all the time, and about like the cost of what you're willing to lose to get your vengeance. Different scenarios, but yeah, I was like, yo, that feels like I'm getting part 2 vibes, because that game,
oh yeah,
no sunshines. There ain't no sunshine. And I don't know what else we could add, dude. I mean, we might have to do a part 2, just because there's stuff I catched from the game sets that we were like, that's it. But right now, I'm in no mood to talk about them at all.
No.
Yeah.
I'll conclude it. That way we can rest, because I don't want you guys to.
Yeah, no, I'm personally trying to hold back tears.
I know,
so I can focus.
Yeah,
I think just like we didn't start this with an intro, I think it would be fitting. I don't know if you disagree or not, Ronan, to end this with a moment of silence like this.
Rest in peace, Henry and Sam.
Until next time, you guys. We'll be back.